Trey, you're one of like maybe 2 poker dealers that when you table talk and get distracted, I don't mind because the things that you're saying are actually worth listening to.
We got to get that on camera.
Some players feel the exact opposite.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, it started. So
You're not going to clap?
no, I can't. My hands swollen.
Oh, shit. Can I clap?
Go ahead. Well, the
All right.
clap is for. I'm just gonna start it where it started.
All right, fine. Wait, do you want to do any intros or?
Welcome to the Poker Dealer Podcast. I'm Frank Singaus. This is Trey Sadowski. Or do you go by Trey Gotti still?
Trey Gotti.
Okay. And today we have Dan Dargenio. Or do you go by Dan Dargenio?
Dargenio is
I
right.
should have done my research.
It's okay.
All right, Dan, say what you just said for the people at home.
My name's Dan Dargenio. It's not Dan Dargenio.
No, it's that.
Oh, no, we'll get to that later. Trey.
All right,
Don't
fine.
worry.
So for those who don't know you yet, who is Tank Top Dan?
Well, I'm glad that nickname stuck because the other one that was in the running was Harry Dan, which I think is less flattering. Mm-hmm. I'm Dan. I've been playing poker since I was a kid, but I've been playing poker for real, I guess, since 2019. I was working a night or a second shift job at the time, and I had a coworker that was a dealer at Parks, and he took me to say, he's like, yeah, you should come play poker. And I'm like, are you sure I should play poker in a casino? I'm not like that good. He's like, no, they're all terrible. And he was right. They're all terrible. So I went and played poker in the casino for the first time in 2019 with him. And I like won a bunch of money, and I was like, oh, I should just like do this. And I started showing up like around noon. I would like wake up in the morning, have work at 5, and then I would play poker at Rivers from like noon until I had to go to work.
Okay. What were you doing for work before?
I was a manager at a GoPuff warehouse.
Okay.
I was mostly dispatching delivery drivers.
Okay. Did you like it aside from?
Yeah, no, I actually love that job. Any job that I've ever had that I had for more than a few months, I liked.
Gotcha.
I'm not capable of keeping a job that I don't like.
What were some jobs that you only had for less than a few months that you didn't like? Just curious.
I answered the phone and gave estimates for a moving company for a while. That was a nightmare. Everybody's mad when they're moving.
Yeah.
Especially like around the time I was doing it, it was like most people were like having to downsize post 2008 crash. Everybody was miserable.
Yeah.
And then I would like give them quotes and they'd be like, why does it cost $1 billion to move my piano? Because you're stupid and you bought a piano. It's not my fault. So I had that. I worked, I answered the phone at a hotel down the shore. I got fired from that job after 2 months because one time I was like, somebody needed to cover night shift. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I'll cover night shift. They're like, are you sure? Yeah. And then like the only night that I ever worked night shift, some drunk girls came in at like 1 a.m. like, can we use the pool? And I'm like, no, the pool closes at 10. They're like, please, we'll go skinny dipping. You can come. I'm like, all right, yeah, we're done. And then the owner of the hotel ran a restaurant across the street, and he walked out after the restaurant closed and saw me in there, tipped him off, and I was canned the next day.
Well, that's I guess a good way to go out, I guess.
I mean, listen, I can't.
It's not really a serious like job, just answering phones for a hotel. So
Yeah, I haven't had too many serious jobs.
But you take poker seriously.
Oh, I don't even know about that. Yeah, no, I take poker pretty seriously. I think I take it a lot more seriously away from the table than I do while I'm playing.
Yeah.
I've been like a competitive gamer like all my life, and I found that if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing well.
Right. I have a similar attitude when it comes to like even dealing.
Yeah,
it's
anything.
fun for me. It's fun, and anything I do, I want to be having fun doing it.
Yeah, it's great to have fun while you're doing anything, especially the things you have to do. And you look at like the people who are the best at any job, and they're like, I don't know what, 80% of them look like they're having fun.
Yeah. So we'll get into some of the other stuff that you kind of just touched on, but first, I want to let you know that your laugh is like one of my favorite laughs. As soon as I hear it, if I'm dealing, yeah, no, but that's not it. It's
I know.
The real authentic one.
We'll get that.
To me, it's a legendary laugh, and it's contagious. It makes me want to start laughing, or be like, I want to know what he's laughing on because I want to laugh on that right now too. I just know it's going to be funny. So, have you ever had a moment at the table where your laugh like broke the tension at a table or made it worse? Maybe someone didn't want to be laughed at.
I've definitely had a lot of moments like that. I think a lot of moments where laughing like just diffuse the situation, and that's like calculated. Because I hate seeing people get into dumb fights at a poker table, and you can usually break it up with laughter in some way or another. There's a few ways to go about that, and I'm actually like doing it in a pretty manipulative way to try and diffuse situations on a regular basis.
I would not have expected that, and if you do, then I couldn't tell. Like then I
don't think you're seeing too much of me doing that. It doesn't come up that often. It's always in casinos.
Okay.
And it's usually like two dickheads arguing about
something stupid.
Right? Like they
just don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other. They get into a pissing match over something, and then there's like a dumb rules argument. Right. They decide to both plant their dick flags in, and then they fight about it for forever. And then at that point, it's like flag. You just find. I usually try and find the person who's acting the most out of pocket and just get everybody to clown on them, because like at that point, it's like, what are they gonna do?
Fight everybody.
Stay angry and just like.
Right.
Most of the time, people are trying to like. People like feel like insecure. They like want to feel tough. They want to like, they don't want to feel like they're getting the better of by somebody, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like, if their solution is to fight because they want to look tough about it, but everybody just laughs at them, they usually don't want to fight anymore after that.
Yeah.
But I've had some situations. I remember one situation where the laughing really didn't help out. It was like not long after I started playing poker, I was playing a 1-2 game at Rivers. It might have even been called, what's it called? What did it used to be called? Sugar House. It used to be the Sugar House. I think it was called Sugar House then. And
I wish I ran into you whenever it was called Sugar House. Those were some good times.
So listen, I made a lot of money off of high hands from Sugar House. They were paying out $300 every half an hour with like 3 tables running in the afternoon. No, but I remember it was like, and I wasn't like that good at poker back then, but I was like studying, and there was me and another young guy at the table who were like winning all the money. Like we were the only people that were like 3-betting or check raising or anything, like anything beyond like just brain dead 1-2 old man type of stuff. So there's this like guy, I think he had an NRA hat on, and he was just like real grumpy looking old man. I think he was talking about how he used to be a cop. He wasn't old enough to have been a retired cop, so he probably got canned because he's a dickhead, is my guess. That was my take on this.
Trey always says, hey, you see that security guard over there? He used to be a cop. Got fired for police brutality. He would say that randomly at a table.
Yeah, they called him last week trying to break somebody's fingernails in the back.
Yo, you can't find 5 cops in this whole country that were fired for police brutality. Anyway, so he's like, so we're like, I don't know. I remember like we just like kept beating him. We kept beating him over and over again, and we were just like kind of ignoring him, but like having a good time and laughing. And then like I think he like starts like. I think at one point he got mad and he like critiqued my play from some angle that didn't make any sense. And then we were just like laughing at him. Right. Mm-hmm. And then he just like, after that hand, he just got up and left. And he left his chips on the table, but we were all like looking at each other because the guy was like throwing around like pretty aggressive words. Like he was like, oh, I got guns in the car or something. And we're just like, whoa there, buddy, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so we're talking at the table once he gets up. We're like, should we like tell security about this guy? Because like, if somebody's gonna shoot up the poker game, it's definitely that guy. So like, yeah, let's talk to him. Like, so we grab security, and then we all tell him like what's been going on and how we're like not comfortable with this guy at the game. And I don't really know what happened after that because I like as we're talking to security, I saw out like the glass window that he was like walking back in. So I put all my chips in my pocket as quick as possible. I went out the other door and I left. I'm like, I'm not letting this guy get to the parking lot before I do. So that was the time that I think the laugh just kind of drove the guy crazy.
Okay.
I don't think it started. He was definitely crazy before that, but it definitely pushed somebody over the edge.
All right. You want to do the next question or should I? Oh, you can't act like you're reading it.
Yeah, well,
Trey's trying to read the
can't even
question.
see them.
All right. Between your tank tops, your painted nails, and your hairy, irresistible charm, do you think your style ever throws players off their game while you're playing?
I don't know. I've been asked this type of question.
Yeah. Someone asked you this question?
Not even just this question, but I've been asked this question in like other games. So I've like been playing other games. People are like, do you do this to like throw people? I've never done a single thing on purpose to throw somebody off, at least like outside of the actual game. I'm never like, I'm wearing tank tops because they're comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm painting my nails because I like it. I'm hairy. I can't help it.
You should have said the opposite for all those three. You should be like, I'm hairy because I choose to grow this.
I'm contractually required to wear tank tops. I'm hairy because I made a wish on a genie lamp. So I don't know if it actually ever throws anybody off their game. Maybe it does, but it's not on purpose.
I never felt like that. I always had the intuition that like, one, I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care what your color your fingernails are or how hairy you are. Like, I don't even think about it.
Right.
But it's just it. Basically, I put the question in here to maybe help answer that question for other people who cared about that.
How often do people ask about your fingernails?
I don't know, maybe like once a month, maybe.
Once a month?
Maybe like, I mean, like I don't play with that. Like I play mostly 5-card PLO now, 4-card, 5-card PLO. There's not that many players playing that
Those
game
games,
around here, and like, but at this point, people know me, so
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't happen that often now, mostly because everybody knows.
Yeah.
So I think it used to happen more.
I think it's kind of lame even that people like what, you've never seen a painted fingernail before. It's just to me it's why am I even talking about it is usually like the first thing that comes to my mind.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess it never really bothers me, but I do kind of like make up a different answer every time I get asked about it.
Good.
What are some of the stock answers you've used?
Stock answers. Well, most of the time people think I lost a bet or that I play catcher.
Okay.
Yeah. People paint their nails who play catcher in baseball, so that way you can see their signals. The pitcher can see their signals. Although, honestly, if your pitcher can't see the signals, it's like maybe you should like wear glasses or something.
Got a better pitcher.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of the last time I like made anything up. I just tell people I like it. It's just the truth.
Do you and so you like to talk. You're a talker at the table.
Yeah.
Friendly banter and sarcasm. Do you think that helps your game, or does that ever backfire?
It sometimes backfires, but if I wasn't like enjoying the social part of a poker game, I would not be able to pay attention. Like, or I would like get bored and start playing hands I shouldn't. Like, if there isn't the social aspect of poker is the thing that you're doing most of the time while you're playing poker. Mm-hmm. Most of the time while you're playing poker, you're not in the hand. You're folded.
Yeah.
So
and what are you doing? Are you on your phone or are you paying
sometimes?
attention?
But I mean, I can pay attention to more than one thing at once. Usually watching sports on my phone where I'm talking to people, or like some combination of those. So I think, I mean, I get invited to private games despite the fact that I play well. Nobody is ever mad about the fact that I'm at a game. It doesn't seem. I think that the people that win at poker that like people don't want around are the people that don't talk. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, you don't want to play. It's one thing to play poker against a guy that's like probably going to beat you, and it's another thing to play poker against a guy who's probably going to beat you who has headphones on.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing worse. It's like, what are you even doing here?
You just kind of played this hand, and now I lost chips to you, and now I can't even kind of socialize with you about this hand that we were involved in.
I mean, it's not like I want to socialize with any of those people anyway. Most of them are awful. Mm-hmm. Like, just like really boring.
Yeah. Well, unless maybe there was someone else that had friendly banter at the table where you weren't your own source of entertainment, right? Maybe someone else could be an entertainment for you at the table. Everybody,
people I play with are generally like fun to talk to in their own way. It's not like I'm talking just to hear my own voice and entertain myself. I'm talking because I want to talk to the other people.
No, I know, but you're saying like, in contrast to that, you were saying, well, none of these people I really want to.
Oh, I'm saying specifically like the type of person who's like, I'm going to study the game and then I'm going to really focus and I'm put on my headphones and not pay attention to anything except for I'm going to do my meditation in my head. Yeah. I mean, like, that's all I mean. It's like the people that like completely zone themselves out of the social aspect of the game are not people that are fun to socially be with anyway.
Yeah. There's not that many, though. Most people at poker are, in general, social. Generally, and more often than not.
It depends where you go, right?
Yeah.
It really depends. Like, you'll find a lot of people at parks that are just not fun to be around.
Yeah, I haven't played there in quite a while.
I mean, it's not that bad, but like most of the people that are like, I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone and play poker for a living. Those people play at parks like 70 hours a week, and they have headphones on.
Let's instead of the players, let's shift to something with the dealers, right? What's something you've noticed dealers do at the table that really could affect the energy of the game, for better or for worse? Any personal pet peeves? Or something like that?
I don't think that I like rarely take issue with anything that a dealer does for the most part. I think that it's a tough gig, right? Because you've got to do customer service, but at the same time, most of the people that you're doing customer service for are mad because they're losing money. Mm-hmm. So I feel like poker dealers just like have a really impossible job a lot of the time. Mm-hmm.
It's a balance. It's finding balance.
It's especially funny to watch people who are like natural people pleasers be poker players be poker dealers. And then like they'll get upset when people get mad at them. It's like, bro, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
One dealer popped into my head when you said that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So, I mean.
Hold on, wait. We'll say their name once and then I'll censor it out. Who?
Do I know?
I said say it once, not twice. That's more censors I got to add in there.
The thing that I think, the only thing that drives me really crazy, and it's not even that bad, is when a dealer is like zoned out and just not paying attention to the actual game, and then the game slows down because of it. Mm-hmm. Trey, I'm looking at you, buddy. But I like it. Trey's fun to be. Trey's like a top tier social presence at a poker game, so I'm usually happy about it anyway. And I'm always on top of it. I'm always trying to pick up all of the slack for the dealers of keeping the game moving. Mm-hmm. One, because I want the game to keep moving, and two, because like when you're a dealer, right, you have to like balance that. Like, I want to keep the game moving because I want to be making my tips and I want the game to be fun, with like, you don't want to put an undue amount of pressure on somebody who's taking a reasonable amount of time. Yeah. But at the same time, if everybody took the maximum reasonable amount of time at every poker decision, the game would be miserable. So you kind of like need I don't know. I always try and pick up the slack. I always know who's the slowest person at the poker table, and I'm always trying to make sure.
You've definitely helped me out in the past.
Yeah.
Like, hey, buddy, it's 2 to go.
Yeah. I'm like yelling like the third card out of 5 is being dealt, and I'm like, yo, it's your turn.
Yeah. Right. Action's on you. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. What would you do if it was 5 to call?
Right.
It's about to be on you.
It's about to be on you. What's in your hand?
So, would you say then,
or just clock?
Right. Saying clock is a fun needle way to.
I call clock on everybody all the time.
Yeah.
I call clock at least like once an hour at a poker game.
Except whenever you know that someone's thinking legitimately about a big decision.
No.
No, you'll still call clock?
I mean, if they're taking too long, then I will.
What if it... Okay. I know. I feel like I've seen people in the tank and you knew it was a big pot or a big decision.
There's certainly like more grace that's extended in those situations, but like...
And for players that don't normally slow the game down, right? Like you would be like, all right, this person never slows the game down. I'm going to give them some time.
No. But there's also, I mean, that goes hand in hand with the person who is like, they have a hand that's good and they know they're going to fold, but they're just taking forever. Like, quote unquote, I don't know if you've heard this terminology, but the hand funeral.
No,
they're not.
The hand
funeral? Like they're not. Their hand's dead, but they've got to hold the funeral for their hand before they let it go.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. That's good. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, especially when I'm like next to the person, I like look at their hand. Like they bet They've got like bottom boat on the river. They bet and they get raised, and they're like, It's like, bro, it's not good.
And you're not allowed to say it's not good.
I'm not allowed to say it's not good.
You're really not even saying like, all right, come on, it's enough. Like, you know what I mean, like, like you always know those situations. Like, this guy's never calling.
This guy's never calling.
Yeah.
Or if he,
And you still got to give him like 30
if
seconds.
he is calling, he's worse than I thought.
Right. Yeah. For me, I basically I might have that little hand funeral for no longer than 5 seconds.
Yeah,
like
I
I know
that's
when
fine.
I'm folding. I know when I'm going to call. So even when I'm taking my time, and if I know I'm going to call, I pretty much make that decision like relatively quickly, within a minute. I feel like most decisions you can make within a minute. But then again, I haven't been like in a day 2 tournament where there's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like maybe I would take my time in those situations.
I think if you're in a tournament, it's different, and you can take as much time as you want or need.
There's shot clocks now. There was a tournament at the Borgata it's a shot clock. So there's a little box on the table. The dealer has to hit the button every single time the action changes.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
my
And
God.
every player gets a time bank. You get little time buttons for 30 extra seconds each time.
Yeah,
button.
you'd think that would speed the game up, but that would just make me take all 30 seconds every time, right?
Thinking about a career change? The Poker Dealer School of Philadelphia can train you to be casino ready in just weeks, not years. No experience? No problem. We'll teach you everything, plus give you post-grad support to help land your first job. Spots fill fast, so visit poker-dealer.com today and turn your passion into a profession.
All right, and we're back. So, picking up where we left off, I think it was, in your opinion, what makes a poker dealer great versus just okay. We were talking about things, pet peeves of dealers that you don't really like, but what would make a dealer better than just okay?
I think like a good dealer is a dealer who's like fast, keeps the game moving, has their mechanics down, knows how much money is in the pot, like whatever. Like, you do your job.
Mm-hmm.
You do your job, you do it well, you're a good poker dealer. Great poker dealers can do all of those things and then still have a conversation at the poker table without it affecting the other things at all.
Gotcha.
I think that they're very few and far between.
Yeah. So, I don't know. If I was going to rate myself, I would say that I'm not that great then. Because honestly, when I start talking, I can have all the mechanics down and know what's in the pot. But most of the time when I'm talking, I lose focus of things that I should be paying more attention to.
See, I think like your awareness of that is like good enough, right? You don't need to be table talking all the time. Like if something's going on and you need to pay attention to the hand, and you just like stop talking so you can pay attention because you realize that, your attention is limited and you're not doing as well as you could, and then you just focus on the game, like that's fine too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you need to be chatting up with the players all the time. I think like it's just like nice when the dealer is simultaneously doing their job for dealing and then also is able to jump in every once in a while with something to say.
When I have everything down pat and I know exactly what's in there, then I open up the possibility of, okay, I'll engage in some kind of conversation or ask a question.
Yeah, that's ideal, right?
But that's because I know as soon as someone asks me a question, I'll know exactly where I'm at in the hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's like anybody in the universe that can like pay perfect attention to the conversation and the game as well as they could if there wasn't one of those things going on. But just like, when, being able to like, the fact that that, if you're keeping track of yourself, you're just like, oh, I'm not letting anything get in the way of the game. Like that's always the most important thing. Trey.
Yeah.
Now Trey is a chatter and distractor, but at the same time Trey has some really good things to say. So like usually if Trey's in the game and like I'll pay attention to the game for Trey, so that way he can like roll off his trivia questions, and I won't be mad about it.
Yeah,
it's never
it's a good trade off.
It's never anything that it's one thing if like a poker player or a dealer, is getting distracted by like we've got like lively banter at the table. That's not the worst. The worst is when a poker dealer is distracted by their phone, or like that's really only happening in like home games and stuff like that, or just like even in a casino sometimes it's a sports game, right? Like something that's like completely external to the game and your sleep. It's like, come on, bro, pay attention.
Yeah. So on that note, do you have any standout like dealer stories? A time that a dealer made the game possibly worse or even better? Just maybe a standout story with Trey.
Oh yeah, I mean, Trey. I think Trey gave me like one of my favorite pieces of sports trivia ever.
Okay.
Wait, maybe I gave it to you actually. I don't remember. Let's see if you know this one. Who was the last player ever drafted by the Montreal Expos?
Yeah, I do know. I gave that to you.
That's Tom Brady, baby.
Tom Brady was the last ever player drafted by the Montreal Expos.
I don't remember too many times like, like a dealer really did anything too crazy. Sometimes it's nice when they like hook you up for a really long time. That's like most of the times I remember like fondly about dealers is like the time like that guy made me $10,000.
Yeah, I gotcha. That makes sense. Do you like to get the dealer involved in the fun sometimes, or do you prefer that they stay out of it? I guess this probably falls in line with, are they paying attention, keeping the game moving?
Exactly. Yeah. The only time I want to get a dealer involved with the discussion is when, either they're really locked in and they're good, and I'm like, But then I guess there's the other time. Sometimes you want to bring a dealer into the discussion because you want to make the discussion about why isn't the dealer doing a better job. I like, you know what I like to do when a dealer isn't, and I play PLO mostly. So my favorite thing to do to dealers who don't pay attention is I'm like not even in the hand. It's like a random turn. How much is in the pot?
Oh, that's the best.
And you're not in the hand?
Sometimes.
Well,
I do it as a joke.
You've never done that to me, so I guess
you always know what's in the pot. I do it to dealers who don't know what's in the pot.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe you should, instead of standing there with your thumb in your ass, maybe you should figure out how much money's in the pot.
I think it's funny when the dealers ask like what's in the pot?
Oh yeah.
I don't know, Dan, what's in the pot?
It's funny because people trust me, but like I just like make up the first number that makes sense to me. It's like it's no shit off my ass if I get it wrong, right?
Yeah.
I can just say whatever I want.
Yeah, no liability.
You guys have to be right.
There was a time though I did make a mistake. You were there. It was a 2-5 game, and I did a side pot. And the side pot, you remember this?
I remember that.
So what was interesting about this was
it was that Chinese guy who, right?
Yeah. So
He was Malaysian.
Okay, so so I created the side pot incorrectly in hindsight. At the time, I was like 100% confident. And I was exuding that confidence.
Not only that, but everybody else at the table besides this one guy was sure that this was correct.
Right. I was explaining it. I explained it to a supervisor, right? He was trying to explain that my math was wrong. And I was trying to explain, actually, no, this is what I did. And he was trying to explain, like, that's not exactly what happened. Like, that the pots are wrong. And we kind of just... not swept it on the rug, but...
we sort of moved on, right?
We sort of moved on because the hand was over. Someone needed to win. It was maybe a difference of like $20 or $30.
There was definitely a racism element to it too, right? Because this guy who was the only guy that was claiming it was wrong was this like broken English Chinese guy who's just like yelling. It's like, whatever, fuck that guy.
Well, the thing was, I was listening to him. It didn't matter his ethnicity. It was just me, wrongly confident about my math.
I don't mean to say that you're thinking that he's wrong. I was saying like it was easy for everybody else to just gang up on this.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Maybe people were just like, hey, like
he just sounded like somebody that was wrong. And you sounded like somebody who was right.
Yeah. So we move on to the next hand, but then Dan, like right as the next hand starts, Dan was just kind of like thinking about it. And then he's like, I think he's right. He just said it out of the blue. And I was like, and it was just after like we had a moment, like, all right, we finally moved on. We moved on to the next.
You just dealt the first card of the next hand. I'm like, wait.
Yeah. Like, I think he's right. And then you explained it, and I heard what you were saying. And instead of me just automatically getting defensive and being like, not this again, I was like, oh, okay. Like, maybe I could be wrong. And then we realized, like, after I heard Dan explain it, I was like, oh my God, you're right. And I'm totally wrong. And I immediately apologized to the man. And we realized how much was owed to him. It was like $20 or $25.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
It wasn't that much.
It was like a really small side pot.
Yeah.
And it was a situation where like he kept his money in front of him. Mm-hmm. And then
and
it was like a take your money back situation when in reality we needed to build that extra side pot.
Correct. So the player that had won the pot, he didn't care. He was just like, whatever, 20, 25, just take it, you know? And he threw it over. And then I apologized to him. I said I was really sorry. And he was like, it's all good. But, you know, next time, do it the right way. I was like, absolutely, you know? And he tipped me. I think he gave me like $5 of that. And he continued to tip me after he won hands. So that was a moment I remember, especially because you instead of just going along with everyone else, you actually took a moment when everyone shut up about it to think about it and kind of like to yourself, and then you realized something was actually off there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always doing that, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not, if like my attention isn't owed to the hand, right? I'm thinking about the game most of the time.
Yeah.
And I'll even know what's in the pot on hands that I'm not in a lot of the time, as long as I'm not like on my phone. Like I'm usually paying enough attention to know stuff like that. So when anything like interesting like that happens in a poker game, it's like I'm definitely going to think about that.
Yeah.
Because you know it's not like it's never going to come up again.
That's true. So let's pivot away from not pivot away, but pivot a little with poker to Netrunner. So there's a game called Netrunner. Let's start with that. What is Netrunner?
So Netrunner is a card game. It's sort of like a collectible card game, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, stuff like that. It actually was designed by Richard Garfield, who's a native Philadelphian and the inventor of Magic the Gathering. The year after he designed Magic the Gathering, it didn't really catch on. That was like back in like '95 or something. They came out with like a few sets, but then it died down. There was like I think at that time, like a lot of different companies came out with like Magic the Gathering copycats because like that was like a fad. And
that was the trend. Yeah.
Right. People wanted to cash in. So that like kind of like died down in a sea of a bunch of games that were.
And then you revived it, or someone revived it?
No, another company, Fantasy Flight board game company, bought the rights to the game. And they already had intellectual property to the Android universe, which is like a cyberpunk setting. So they bought Netrunner, and then they like redid it. They rebalanced the game, and then they put it into their sort of intellectual property universe. So they could like use their art and stuff like that and promote in that type of way. They remade the game. I think it came out in 2012 or 2013. And for a while, it was like one of the most popular like board games. It was like big among like board game people, software people, cyberpunk fans, stuff like that. And it was like rated like the #1 board game on Board Game Geek, which is like it's like the IMDb of board games, I guess.
Gotcha. All right.
Is it played with a board?
No, it's not played with a board. It's just a card game. So the interesting thing about Netrunner, as opposed to like say Magic or Pokemon, is there's two completely different sets of types of cards. Some of the cards are runner cards, and a runner is like a Netrunner, which is like sort of like a cyberpunk hacker. Think of like the Matrix. You're like jacking into the internet, and then you're like running around doing hacks or whatever.
Okay.
And then the other cards are corporation cards. So whenever you like go play Netrunner, you always bring two decks of cards. One is your runner deck, and one is your corporation deck. And a runner always plays against a corporation. So in a tournament, I'll bring two decks, and then I'll play a match, say, against Frank, and then we'll like randomize. Like I'll start running, he starts corporating, and then we'll switch.
Corporating?
So we'll play yeah.
So it's like black or white versus chess, but black or white both
so
have the
that's
same pieces, though. So.
No, yeah, they have the same pieces. Like imagine like if chess, like one person had all of the chess pieces, and then the other person had Stratego pieces, right? I don't know if anybody knows Stratego, but it's like
I'm just imagining a totally different game.
Stratego is a board game where you set up your army, and your opponent sets up their army on the other side of the board, but your pieces are facing your direction, and they indicate what they are only on your side. So your opponent knows you have a piece where you have a piece, but doesn't know what it is.
Okay.
So Netrunner is similar to that because the corporation player is playing all of their cards face down, and it's only when the corporation needs to use that card or the runner, encounters that card and it needs to interact with it, then the corporation player has the opportunity to pay the cost for that card, turn it face up, and now it's active. So one player is like doing like bluffing, like it was poker, right? You're or at least like you're trying to disguise what's going on your side of the board, where the other player is trying to sort of like suss out what's likely and like make calculated decisions about like, what angle of attack to take. And they've got to weigh things like, if this thing isn't the thing that I expected it is a bad thing going to happen to me and stuff like that.
This is a little bit off topic, but every time you say the word corporation there's a shout out to Rockstar Games. They used to have a game on like PlayStation 1 or 2. It was called State of Emergency. And you were basically, there was riots and things happening, and you're just killing like police officers, security guards, and like a mall. Yeah. And not realistic. Obviously, it was like very,
PlayStation 1.
Yeah. And but the narrator in the background, like you'd start in the level and it'd be like, kill the corporation, and that's like all right, that's what I got to do. You never heard of that game?
No.
You gotta look it up. It was so much fun to play, kind of like GTA 1 with the bird's eye view for the first time. You're like, what is this? And you're like, got these crazy weapons and a flamethrower, and it's just ultra violent for its time. Anyway, kill the corporation.
It's always good. It's always good to shout out our, the people that are at the forefront of pushing violence
in video games, not in real life. Not in real life.
Come on, don't act like Call of Duty didn't get people killed.
I don't know.
That's the only one.
I never played any Call of Duty.
Me neither. That's the only one that's really getting people killed. Nobody's doing GTA shit in real life, but there's lots of people joining the army because of Call of Duty.
Yeah. All right.
Bro, I played Call of Duty one time. Well, I played it a few times, but there was this one where you're getting paid or whatever. You're part of some bad organization that you literally go into an airport and just shoot as many people as you can. I was like, wait a minute. Like, why is this a video game?
There's the U.S. military is bankrolling that stuff.
Yeah, that's wild. I know even Final Fantasy VII was like, you're an eco-terrorist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Americans didn't make that game up.
Yeah. All right. So you were ranked or are ranked #1 Netrunner player in the world then?
I was 2014, 2015 world champion.
Okay.
That's like 2 years back to back I was world champion.
Yeah.
I was the first person to do that. Actually, somebody did it more recently than me, which I was upset about.
Yeah, boo.
Boo.
Yeah. So there was like a good like 3-year period where I was like by far the most dominant player.
Okay. And have you just like taken a break from it? Is that why, or do you still play it?
I come back occasionally and play a tournament every once in a while, but I don't play it on a regular basis anymore. The game's still alive. It's doing good. Actually, something really interesting happened to the game. The company that was making the game, like I said, was leasing a contract out from Wizards of the Coast to make the game. And they got into a contract dispute and couldn't come to a resolution for renewal of the contract, so they had to stop making the game. But players were still like really into it and loved the game. And I actually, we started a nonprofit to run the game after that happened. So like I was on the board and we hired a bunch of people to like fill all the roles, like lead designer, like
wow.
head of development, head of play testers, art, organized play.
Yeah.
Social media, all that type of stuff. So we we got people together who volunteered to do all of this stuff, and they continue to make the game to this day. And now it's like 7 years after the fact.
So a nonprofit is what's leading the continuation of the game.
I think
pretty cool.
I'm not sure if they were called Nisei.
Weren't you on the board, you said? Or you're not on the board anymore?
I'm not on the board anymore. I was just on the board for the hiring process,
okay.
And then I stepped back from it. So I was just like one of 5 people that we sort of picked who was going to run it.
Yeah. Okay.
I never actually did any work with them besides that. I just, helped get them off the ground.
Nice. All right. Do you, what type of Netrunner players and poker players are hardest to play against for you? And, or are there any similarities?
Yeah. So poker and Netrunner end up having more similarities than I thought when I started playing poker. And I think one thing that's really difficult to play against in both is somebody who's like really balanced. You talk about like a balanced poker player. If people don't know, that's like, really, it just kind of means you're playing good, but like it means what it really comes down to is like there's a bunch of different things you could be doing. You're doing them in a good ratio.
Yeah.
You're doing a good mix of those things in such a way where it makes it very hard for your opponent to guess what's going on actually. Like you're not giving up any of your hidden information based off your actions because you could be doing this with that or you could be doing it with that. Netrunner is a similar deal where there were some players that like, if you installed something in this spot, they were always going to go and spend some time to look and see what it is, right? Those players are like very easy to manipulate, right? In the same way, it's like somebody who's always going to call with the second nut flush on the river, right? If they always are going to call with the second nut flush on the river, I know what you're going to do when you have the second nut flush. I'll put you on the second nut flush. Maybe I'm running a bluff and I know you're always going to call. It's like, oh, maybe I just won't bet the river then. Normally I would. Netrunner is a similar deal where it's like the people that are really good, they're not just like doing this thing sometimes, doing that thing sometimes. Like mixing it up is one thing. It's another thing to mix it up in such a way where like you're doing the things, you're doing a proper mix, right?
How long does a game of Netrunner last? So a poker hand lasts like maybe a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And you might be playing poker with this one person to be able to understand their tendencies over the course of 30 minutes, an hour, or days, or whatever. However long you play the game with them. But in Netrunner, what's the equivalent of one hand in Netrunner? Or is
I
it
think
not
the closest
like that?
thing to like a hand would be a turn.
Okay.
Turns in Netrunner are like a little bit long. They usually consist of like 3 or 4 actions.
Okay.
Corporation turns are shorter than runner turns, but runner turns could take like a hard turn might take 4 minutes.
What's a corporation turn? Like, all right, collect $8 million, fire those people.
Well, the reason why corporation turns in Netrunner are shorter is because there are actually less actions that you're allowed to take, for one, and for two, you're not executing the actions of your cards. You're just installing them, and then when the runner encounters them during the runner turn is when you actually start using your cards.
Okay.
So more of the things that are getting done on the runner turn because that's when almost all the revelation is happening.
Okay.
All right. Are you on YouTube playing Netrunner at all?
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, we'll post it up. We'll post the link up. Has your strategy in Netrunner ever helped you exploit a poker player's tendencies in a hand?
I think like the skills I learned playing Netrunner were definitely like transferable. I don't know if there's like a specific instance I can put my finger on, but there's definitely like
staying balanced.
I remember like there was a game of Netrunner I played in like the 2014 World Championships where I like had a really, really bad draw. And Netrunner is a game that one thing I've really liked about it is you had a lot of things you could do to sort of like manipulate the game state. Like a lot of operations were available to you. So when things weren't really going your way, there was a lot you could do to sort of mitigate that. But this was like in like probably like the quarterfinals of a World Championships, and my draw was like irredeemably bad. Like a bottom 2% type of draw.
Wow. So would you say that's just kind of unlucky, like an unlucky hand?
Yeah, it's just
like
unlucky. But unlike in poker where you just like get that unlucky and that means you lose all your money, in Netrunner there's other things you can do.
Yeah.
So
to get out of it. But you said it was unredeemable.
Well, it looked unredeemable. I found a way.
Oh, nice.
Right. So I think what happened was like I had just like drawn one too many of this type of card that's like really good if the runner finds it. Right now, all these cards are in my hand. If they start running everywhere, they're eventually going to find these cards, and then I ended up just discarding some of them. And when they're in your and I didn't defend my discard pile. There's like different things you can do to defend different areas of the game. I discarded those cards. If I defended my discard pile, then it'd be very obvious to the runner that something's in there, right? So rather than defend the discard pile, I actually started playing some of those cards out of my hand and putting them in weird spots, like they weren't going to do anything there. I was just playing them to get them out of my hand and discarding some other ones. And I was like trying to make the game state look just like it would if I had a good hand. And I tried to do things to like keep the pressure on, right?
Yeah.
Keep installing things, making the runner, have to like look there. And eventually I drew my way out of it. But it's like similar, I think, to like maybe a poker hand where, let's say you get counterfeited and turn it into a bluff, right? You've got like 2 pair or something like that, and then your 2 pair gets counterfeited by like a middle pairing board card, and then
a higher pair counterfeits
and then you've
it,
got to turn it into a bluff or something like that. So that's like a very similar type of thing that can happen in both games.
Right. It's not like even though I don't understand like all the different options or scenarios and different cards that what those actions mean in Netrunner, just hearing you explain it, I'm kind of imagining just like you're saying it's like you're playing your strategy to improve your hand, essentially get rid of these cards, but trying to make it appear as if this is something you would be doing with a good hand.
Right.
Because they don't know which action cards that you're using.
They don't know which cards you're playing.
Right.
Your cards are face down. So until they go check them, they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So there might be cards that you just like install, you just play face down, and then like you might use them later. And like you just let them sit there undefended on the board. At any time they could spend 1 action, like a quarter of their turn, to go and check.
And really, it's just a dud every time that you're pretty much like putting out there.
Well, most of the time it is, right? Yeah. Most of the time when you you'll install things there, and it's like that's maybe not like a dud, but something that's like not worth my time to go and look at.
Exactly.
They're going to show
that's
me.
What I mean by
they're going to show
yeah.
me what it is eventually, and it's not something that I need to spend time to see. So I was playing cards that were like not those cards. They were cards that were actually really good for them to go and look at.
Okay.
But I was putting them in spots that were so easy to go and look at that they thought there's no way that would be something that I want to go look at.
Nice. So you were like, it was in a way kind of like bluffing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like, it's very similar. Very
Got
similar.
it. Let's go back to poker. Trey, you asked this question. I want to hear your voice. Say something.
What is something about poker culture that
loud? we were riding fast. All right. What is something about poker culture that could use a change or wake up call?
See, this is a great question because I don't know. I always find this tough. The thing I think that that poker is always struggling for is like poker is better when there's more players, right? You want to get more players into the game. So my take on it is that...
Hold on. Well, why? Because what if you have more pros or more recreational players? Could you argue that having more pros is good or bad?
Maybe like having more pros in a particular game could make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I mean for the game in general is not any particular game, but the game at large.
Okay.
And the game at large benefits from there being more players in general.
And why is that? Just more money into the
more money. It's easier to get a game going, right? There's like a critical mass of poker players that you need to like have a poker room, right? You need to cover costs. You need to cover your dealer costs, cost for the space,
overhead,
not go dark overnight.
Not go dark overnight. Yeah, like all of that stuff. It's like you just simply need players for that.
Okay. So, what do you mean? So how? That's what is good for poker culture.
That's what's good. Like, I think that's what's good for poker as a game, and I think
what could influence that?
Well, I think that like poker culture is like very not inclusive. Like, there's a reason why it's like almost all men, and it's like most women don't feel comfortable at a poker game. Gay people, trans people, like would not feel welcome at a poker game, and they would be correct. They're not welcome at a poker game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not the case for everybody, right? Like, I don't mean to say that like most poker players are mad about somebody who's different showing up to the game, but there are enough people that are mad about it, and
enough say things under their breath, and
say things under their breath, say things while you're not there. Exactly. Yeah. For a bunch of men, as soon as everybody leaves, they love to gossip behind your back.
I was always surprised why there's not
even
more
if you're
women.
not. Sorry, go ahead.
I was always surprised why there's not more women in poker. Like, women can read men amazing.
Yeah.
So why aren't you playing poker and reading these men?
Like, so in my experience with gaming communities,
sometimes women don't want to read boring old men.
Sometimes, yeah. Some people.
I thought it was an aggression thing. Like,
no, they just get treated like shit. Mm-hmm. Not all of them. Like, there's an archetype of woman that I think like shows up at poker games more often than others. It's like women with strong, aggressive personalities, like, who can like hold their own in that type of setting more, where it's like
they're not intimidated.
They're willing to like fight back, and like, you know, like that type of stuff, like stuff that like we don't socialize women to do in society, right? Those
Normally, you're right. It's kind of like an archetype. Some women have, I guess they bring out that other quality about them that might not be considered feminine, but we're all human. We have masculine and feminine qualities.
Right.
So the ones that maybe aren't intimidated are probably comfortable bringing that masculine part about their personality to the poker game.
Yeah, or just like even like risk-taking behaviors, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like more of a man thing. But I don't think that like poker is inherently a man's game in any type of way. I know there are plenty of women that are great at poker. I know play poker with plenty of women.
Yeah.
And I think like if you want to just talk about women, I think like not putting up with people who like treat women badly like is like would go a long way. And then like after you like make that unacceptable, like I'm not even talking about like getting these people out of the game. I'm talking about like people should be ashamed to say some of these things.
Yeah, like publicly kind of
don't.
right. Publicly shame or
yeah, or whatever.
Or just nip it in the bud right away and basically be like, that's not cool.
Right.
Or
I think there's a lot of like, especially older men who like play poker who want to be able to say those things and like would rather there not be a woman at the game so that way they can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
And it's like those people, like, I don't care if you want to be, if you're that type of person, if you want to play in the game, but like, if you start like aggressing towards women about it or like even like whatever, like doing whatever that you wouldn't do to a man to express your unhappiness with that situation, it's like, I just want you to shut up. And like once that's a go, it's like it's only a matter of time before you get like a group of women like if there was like a group of friends, like 3 women who are friends with each other who are all like, I want to start playing poker, and like they want to start coming to games together, it's like they would have a fine time. And I think like getting more women into poker would be like the biggest deal, right?
One major contribution to increasing the player pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are a woman that's thinking about playing poker, I highly suggest it.
Yeah. No. Like, don't be discouraged. Like the people that want you at the game because like they want don't players in the game. Like those people, they outnumber the people that don't want you there.
Like single ladies. Forget Hinge. Get on the poker table.
No, don't do that. This is exactly the type of thing that I'm talking about. Don't hit on women at the poker table. That's part of the reason.
They're there to hit on the dudes.
Well, if that's the case, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, if you've got one woman at a poker table and somebody starts hitting on them, it's going to make them so much less likely to come back. They didn't come to get hit on. If they came to do that, let that be on them. But like, that's like a surefire way to make somebody uncomfortable in a place where they probably already feel pretty uncomfortable just because of how solo they're running.
There's been some players that I've dealt to that were, I could see that they were trans.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like when they're there, nobody's saying a word. Yeah. And then as soon as they might get up or go on break or something like that, someone might make a little comment to themselves or the player next to them. Yeah. And it's just like, can't you just not care, just shut up and just not have to say anything about it? Because what do you know about this person?
They don't know anything.
Exactly. Right. So I always, whenever I notice
the bathroom genital inspection squad,
when I notice that, I just, again, I treat everybody as a guest, and I treat them with professionalism and courtesy. I don't care what you look like. Even what you act like, as long as you're not disrespecting or making other players, guests feel uncomfortable.
And I've never had a problem with dealers doing this. In fact, I would say the people who are in the minority in poker who probably catch the most dumb bullshit because of this are female poker dealers.
Mm-hmm. So like back to you were saying like because you're an ally, and like when that 60-year-old like curmudgeon says something. When they like, come on, man, you can't say that. You know what I mean? Like I
don't ever want to tell somebody they can't say something. Like I'm not a like you can't say that type of person, but I'm like because like you shouldn't. I don't think people's speech should be regulated.
No, like as a casino employee, I have to tell them you can't say that.
Oh, sure.
Well, as a dealer, there's sometimes you do have to say you can't say this to another guest at the table.
Sure.
You can't be disrespectful. You can't curse at another player or call them names.
Yeah.
Like, stop calling each other names, everybody. I've had to say that. It's always pretty funny. I had to say it at the one tournament. I was dealing, some guy called another person a retard at the table. And I was like, I don't want you guys calling each other names. And then, because, you know, they're going at it with one another.
Sure.
But as soon as the name calling starts, it's like, okay, I gotta put my warning in right now. And then other players at other tables are like, yeah, that's right, Frank. Keep your table under control, and like, don't let them call each other names. You know, it just sounds like such a toddler thing to say. But that's what I bring it down to, is like, we don't need to escalate this, and I can poke fun of it.
I think we need to start like a daycare employee to poker dealer pipeline.
Yeah,
it's all the same skill set.
But no, with what you were saying, I agree with you. Like, I don't tell people like, hey, you can't do this, you can't say that. I mean, unless I'm working as a dealer.
Sure.
Like, you're not allowed to do that is really what I'm trying to say. You're not allowed to do that. If you continue, I have to call a supervisor.
It's tough, right? Like, this is like such like a big social thing that it's like, you're not going to solve this problem as a poker dealer.
No, but
right?
you can do what's right in that moment to not let someone have to like hear someone.
Yeah, to ruin everybody else's good time.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the way I see it is like almost all of this stems from just like a lack of familiarity, right? Like, if you're like an old dude that's been playing poker with men forever, and suddenly there's like two women at a poker game, it's like now you're like you're like less comfortable.
Yeah, you're like, this is not familiar. Yeah,
maybe you react in some type of way, right? And like, that's all like good and fine, but like the cure to all of that is to like normalize it, right? Like, if you're like a guy my age and played poker with women plenty of times, it's like not like, no, there's very few people who are like, very few millennials in a poker game are like ragging on a woman or like even like whatever, right?
Yeah, and sometimes men, when they lose a hand, they say something or about the player, they're criticizing someone at the end of the hand, and if they're criticizing a woman, like as if they're criticizing their regular old like guy that they normally talk shit to.
Right.
Now all of a sudden a woman's like, why would you speak to me like this?
Yeah. It's tough, especially because it's like the culture of it has evolved around like being a men's space. So much of like the norms and like what's okay and what's not, right?
Yeah.
Is like, you know, it's like catered to that. And there's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just like something that everybody has to get used to. And if there's going to be change, it's like, it's going to be, I mean, I think the first step is like making sure that the people that are like the real bad actors in this scenario, like, don't get to do a bad thing without like somebody saying something. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
It's like, don't fucking talk to people that way. Don't talk about people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think about giving like the floor people like a paintball gun?
Oh my God. Yo, so I like, part of me wants to get a job dealing just to get fired from every casino, because I'm going to say all the shit that you're not allowed to say that everybody thinks needs to get said.
I've had a similar thought about, I wanted to get hired at a restaurant as a server and just act like an idiot server, basically, as a prank. I want to be a prank server. I've had ideas like, what if I actually get a job, and then this was my prank video idea, my brilliant genius prank video, and I would go up to a table.
Pack
and
this
be like,
podcast up. You don't need this anymore. We're doing a prank show now.
I would just ask the table, all right, like, what can I get all of you today? And then everyone takes their order, and then I'd be like, I actually didn't write any of that down. Like, give me like 5 minutes. I gotta go find it. That's like, I would get fired almost immediately, like within the first day. So similarly, you know what you're saying. If you are the person that's saying what you're not really supposed to say. Yeah. Like,
I wouldn't be like if I was a poker dealer, right? I wouldn't tell the same guy it's his turn 3 times. The third time it would come out a lot different. That's what I'm saying. Hey, why don't you pay attention to the game? Everybody else is waiting for you.
There are some dealers that have that kind of attitude and personality, but they get away with it because most of the time it makes other people laugh.
Right. But the thing is like, you're going to get away with that for as long as until the second person who's mad at you about it reports you. right? And now you're going to get talked to.
Not if everybody likes you.
Maybe.
And
maybe,
if the majority of people are laughing and you're playful and courteous most of the time, you never know.
I also want to needle the players. I think the dealers should needle more players.
I get called all kinds of names for needling players. I used to needle a lot, and I wasn't even like knowingly doing it. Sometimes I'm just like that kind of person, but I mellowed that out a lot. And
I would just want to. I mean, listen. There's so many times if I was the dealer at Showdown, you turned up that, like you called the turn with that. Jesus Christ!
I could say that to someone like you.
Everybody match the stack.
I could say that to someone like you because I know you. If I have someone that I've built rapport with, I will say something that's a needle that could get other people to laugh at the table, but I know that they can take it.
The thing is like part of like the reasons, like the main reasons why I want to do it is like
entertainment.
There's just like people in poker games that act in like a way that's like annoying to everybody else for whatever reason, right? And like I want to like grill those people. Like I want those people to feel like they're under pressure to like act better. Like I forget what it was. I was in a home poker game recently and there was somebody that like serially would be like up getting food and they'd be like, hey, you have a hand. They're like, what do you want to do? And then they're like getting their food. Wait just a second. Then they come over and they look at their hand.
And then they fold.
Or whatever. It doesn't matter what they do. But like somebody was doing that over and over again. And I told them, I'm like, look, if it gets to be your turn and you're not at the table, you're not, you gotta call, you gotta fold, do whatever. But you're not allowed to look at your hand.
Okay. So then they might as well make the decision without having to walk over to the table.
Exactly. Instead of like wasting everybody's time. That's my rule with myself. Yeah. Right. Like if I'm like, if I get a hand and
you know you're not going to be at the table to make a
or if
decision.
Somebody just says, hey, it's your turn and I'm not at the table, right? I'll just be like either fold or call. I'm never coming over to look at my hand and make everybody wait for me to walk over, look at my hand, make a decision. It's just like so much of like what makes a poker game good to me anyway is like the game continues to be moving.
And consideration essentially is
right.
what you're asking
Yeah. Especially in like cash games. That's when like a poker tournament, if you want to like take forever or whatever, it's like that game is like more contained. Right. That's not like something that spills over from day to day.
It's stricter. That's why those rules are in place. And when people sign up for a tournament, they know that
that's what they're signing up for. Yeah. Exactly. But in like a cash game, it's like this is a game that's probably running every week or every day at a casino or whatever. And it's like part of that, so much of what makes the game good is like players' consideration for each other and consideration for the game.
Yeah.
Right. That's why like the guy who shows up with headphones is like a problem. It's not because they're like doing anything actively to ruin the game. It's that like they're not doing anything to contribute to the game.
Other than taking up a seat.
You play any tournaments?
I very rarely play tournaments. I played tournaments online when the casinos were closed in COVID because the tournaments were softer online than the cash games were. They're probably softer in real life than the cash games, but like the combination of the speed of poker and the speed of live poker and the speed of tournament poker, it's like it's just too slow for me. Mm-hmm. So many of the times I've like joined a tournament because I thought like
online tournaments though are faster.
Online tournaments are fast and you can play more than one. Online tournaments you can like you can click the check fold button or whatever it is. Online tournaments I thought were a lot more bearable and I had a decent amount of fun playing online tournaments. Although I don't like the gameplay of tournament poker as much as I like deep stack cash poker. There's just like, it feels like you don't have a big enough stack to like do interesting things anymore. Like so much, especially like towards the bubble of a tournament, it's like there are interesting things like considerations like, oh, ICM, am I going to like make the bubble? Like what's my strategy? Am I trying to like just limp into the bubble and then we'll figure it out from there? So there's like different strategic considerations, but I would just like prefer it if I was like always playing deep enough with everybody so that like there could be a bet on the river.
Right. Let's go back to like the poker culture. Well, more like what's your ideal poker room vibe? Who's allowed in? Who is banned forever?
I think so. The poker games that I like to play in, I like to play in home games. I like to play in casino games too, but I think I prefer home games. just because there's more of that social cohesion with the same players from week to week. It's still the case if you play like high enough stakes in a poker room that you're probably playing with mostly the same people. But I think that poker benefits a lot from people playing the same people over and over again, because now you have like a social
Dynamic.
obligation to them, right? Now it's like everybody's like has this social obligation to each other to make the game fun, and like that makes people act better. So I like that. Low rake. Boy, do I hate a lot of rake. There's, especially playing Palom at Omaha, when the rake gets to a certain size, it's like your equities are running so close that you're just like never beating some of these home game rakes. If they're taking like 10% up to 100 out of the pot, you can't win.
Well, that's good in the casino because it's like a set time rate.
Yeah, paying time is great in the casino. That's although I have an invention that I look forward on the podcast. I think that with all the casino equipment and the surveillance cameras and stuff like that, we should be able to use AI to figure out whose turn it is in a poker game automatically from the cameras. And then whenever the down's over and you get to the next 30, the dealer comes in and reads off the screen, and everybody owes a different amount of money depending on how much of the time they took up in the last down.
That'd be so
That'll keep people moving. In the
you can make an AI to do that right now.
I know. I think it would be such a good idea. You owe time. You owe time. You know, there's like $60 at the table that's owed in time. That's divided up completely.
Headphones guy, you owe 46 of it.
No, it's headphones guy usually doesn't take that long. He's usually folding pre-flop 99% of the time. But
you would need that technology put into the cameras, and you need to install a lot more cameras. You know what I mean? The camera would have to follow.
You do what you got to do, Frank. I don't know. I'm not on that side of the business, you know.
I like to think practically, like, can that work? Obviously, is it possible? Sure, and everything's possible, but is it practical? Is it feasible? Because in poker rooms don't make all the money for the casinos.
Yeah, no, they don't. They're a draw, right? They're like a break even, and they're trying to
on the cake.
But
they're
also
they're just trying to drag people in to make them walk by a slot machine.
well, not necessarily. That's one thing, but without getting into that, more so, what you're suggesting is actually something that could generate more revenue for a poker room as well. So, I think that your idea is going somewhere. You know,
Maybe.
I think there's something to think about there.
And it can be literally implemented for free.
Yeah, I think.
Why would you say for free? Like that's
it's not for free. But
you get an AI to
it's true. It's really just the cost of the software, and that's it.
And once
no,
you pay once,
and there's physical equipment that needs to be
There's
installed.
already cameras everywhere.
There's cameras everywhere.
But those have different firmware, they're used for different reasons. We're not in the surveillance.
It doesn't matter.
department.
You don't need. All you need is the video feed, and then the AI can do the rest.
We don't even need to see the guy. If we see he has cards or he folds, we know it was on him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not just black and white. There's a lot more metrics that are involved. Look, you want to make that face at me.
Whatever. It's just a silly idea I had.
It's not silly. It could be a real thing, but you have to think critically about it. And thinking critically is not saying, "Oh, this could be done for free."
Well, listen, if somebody wants to hire me at a casino to do the job of thinking critically about it, I'll do it. But as of right now, I'm shooting the shit. What you're talking about requires a salary, and I'm not doing that for you.
Or you can create all the business plan of the whole thing, get everything together, realize what it's going to take to create it,
and then somebody can steal my idea and make all the money.
No, then you patent it, and you.
I'm not doing that work till I get the money up front.
I just that's not how software development works.
I was a software developer, and that is how it works.
Okay, maybe that's how software development works. What I mean is, if you're trying to pitch an idea, you can have a meeting with somebody, and
where I have a job, and then I show up to the meeting for my job, and that's where the meeting happens, and I got paid for it.
But that job doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm trying to
get
at.
Yeah. But I've been in similar situations, like when I worked in GoPuff, and like I had ideas, and maybe this needs implementation or whatever. But even in that case, it's like I had a job. Like, I'm working for you. I'm not doing that if I'm not working for you.
Yeah, but if you want to create your own job or create your own product, You're
Yeah.
working for yourself. And that's what I mean. From the perspective of you're creating a system, a design, a whole new way to.
This is why I'm not a good entrepreneur, Frank. I want money up front. I don't want to deal with all that side of it.
All right, from your point of view, what can poker dealers do better to improve your experience?
Yeah, I think just keep the game moving is the biggest one. I think that's by far the biggest one. And then, like, be good at your job, I guess. That's something that everybody's always trying to do, though, right? Like, there are
No, apparently not. There's plenty of dealers that they've been doing it for a long time, and they don't strive to get better. They might deal hold'em every single day, and they're like, oh, there's a PLO game, I'll switch with you. Or can you get me out of that string so that I don't have to deal PLO?
Yeah, you might be right. I think people, if you're like, just striving to do as good of a job as you can, it doesn't mean necessarily going like above and beyond studying outside of work or anything like that. Just like, think about what you're doing and then maybe think about how you could do it better every once in a while.
What are some things that some players could do to make dealers' lives easier?
Oh, a million things. Players make dealers' lives a nightmare. Mostly, I don't know. It really depends on the dealer, right? There's a lot of dealers who are bothered by this one thing that other dealers are just like, whatever, right? Like, I think a lot of you, like, if you, like, coolered somebody and they got mad, it's like you would forget about it pretty fast. And there are some dealers who, like, that happens and it's like, they get yelled at and, like, I don't know, maybe their dad grew up and yelled at them when they were a kid, and now it's like triggering for them or something.
One thing I find out, like I tell people, there's certain people, and these people would not mind if I said their name. I'm just like, dude, you're like top 5 unluckiest players I've ever got to, and they love when I tell them that. Like, I'm so happy you noticed that, man.
Everybody loves hearing that.
I'm like, seriously, like you like always get coolered when I'm there.
Players are always
and they love it.
They love avoiding accountability, and getting called unlucky is the number one way to avoid the accountability.
All right,
You're just giving them a free out. It's like, oh, I don't need to play poker better. I'm just unlucky.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up with our, fire. What do we call it?
Oh wait,
Fire questions.
before we wrap it up, there's one other thing that I wanted to say about making a poker game ideal poker game.
Yeah, please.
Right, and this goes for specifically. Don't multiple and when they don't really know, and you're it's like your poker game.
Wait, I can't ask about that?
No.
All right. Okay.
I kind of want to hear what Trey wants to say.
No.
All right, you can hear it.
Yeah, we
later.
can edit it. Later. No, I just want to hear more about that, but
Don't make my editing harder.
right.
Okay, we'll move on. But suffice to say that I've never been to a poker game with the poker game where there wasn't.
All right, straddle or no straddle?
You got to straddle.
Under the gun or on the button?
Well, I prefer the button, but I'll get the gun going if I have to.
Favorite place to play?
Undisclosed. I don't want to blow.
No,
up
yeah,
any
you don't have
spots.
to say the. I get it, but I just meant okay. If there was a favorite room or whatever.
Every place that I play in, I like playing in. There's been games that I've been to that I had a problem with for whatever reason. I stopped playing there. So it's hard to pick a favorite because all the games that I play in are games that I like playing in.
Okay, it's the place that you like playing in the most. Why?
Always get a game going. We're never like limping around shorthanded, waiting for people.
If you could have your dream lineup of, I don't know, favorite poker personality, TV pros, poker pros.
I don't know any.
Then
I don't watch a lot of poker.
Or a
content.
table full of maniacs.
Oh, those type of pros. Oh, table full of maniacs or table full of pros.
Yeah.
I think like it depends on my mood. Obviously, I'm playing poker for profit. I'd much rather be with the maniacs on a regular basis. But there's also like the competitive gamer in me that just like wants to play in a hard game.
Yeah.
I got a little spin on that question. So like, if you could like play, it's a table full of X. What would X be? It could be like female comedians. It could be like 80s TV stars. It could be like just whatever, something weird.
I like that spin.
Yeah.
Pro athletes. I'd like to play with pro athletes.
Embiid plays. Westbrook plays.
They have a lot of money, and I'm probably a fan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Got it. Okay. If poker disappeared tomorrow, what would Dan Dargenio be doing?
It'd probably take me a while to find anything to do, actually. I'd probably sit around doing nothing for a long time. I'd probably go free Palestine.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Like you would personally go over there and start freeing people?
I might. I don't want to say anything on camera, you know.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
But I might do something.
I might do something.
Thanks for hanging out and watching the show. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to subscribe. With a simple click of a button, your support will help us create future content for you and others to enjoy. Let's keep this thing rolling so we can keep bringing you more stories, laughs, and maybe a little wisdom. Thanks again.